My name is Stephen Faunus, and I am the proud principal of Stevenson High School. Welcome, Mrs. Clyda, and our Board of Education members, Superintendent Dr. Johns, community and business leaders, teachers, families, and students, to the Utica Community Schools Stevenson Center for Manufacturing, Automation, and Design Engineering, or as we call it, Stevenson MADE. To start the program, I'd like to introduce to you Lillian Hood, a 9th grade MADE student who is going to lead us in the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars to the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could give Lillian another round of applause. It is my pleasure to mark this new chapter for our students. Not only am I the principal of Stevenson High School, but I also graduated from here. I'm not going to tell you the year, but it was a while ago. Things have changed since I walked the halls of this school. The expectations for our students, the skills graduates need to be successful, and the nature of the workforce are all dramatically changed. As you would expect, Utica Community Schools is not only embracing this change, but leading it. Stevenson MADE redefines education by answering the question, why? The why being, why do I need to know this? Which we often asked when we were in school. Every moment a student spends in the classroom has a direct bearing on their chosen career pathways. All students are immersed in a design thinking process that encourages hands-on work in a group environment. This program challenges students to focus on the solutions to real-world and relevant problems. After we complete this ceremony, you'll have a chance to visit some of our MADE classrooms. MADE students have volunteered to demonstrate what they're learning now in the 9th grade design thinking course and what they will be learning in the future in automation and design engineering. In 10th grade, every student in MADE will explore fabrication, automation, and design engineering to find out what they're good at, what would be best for them, and they will declare a major in one of those fields. Stevenson MADE provides a complete high school program that gives our students the experiences and training that will set them apart from the competition for the best colleges, the best trade schools, and the best careers. The opening of MADE would not have happened without the district leaders who supported this change. I'd like to personally thank Dr. Johns and the Board of Education for providing the guidance and vision to bring us to this point. These are individuals who care about the youth in our community and their future. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you our superintendent, Dr. Christine Johns.
Thank you, Mr. Faunus, and good afternoon to all of you. We are so delighted that you have joined us. We are here today to celebrate and realize a vision of what is possible when business, education, community, and political leaders come together around the betterment of our children. It is about the youth of this community. Our region is a leader when it comes to the high-tech, high-paying jobs of the future. In Utica Community Schools, we believe in this vision, and we also believe in the power of education to build and sustain our position as an economic leader. Education and economic development go hand in glove. Through Stevenson Made, we are developing the talent that will support the growth of Macomb County as a center of innovation. And perhaps you've already met some of the wonderful young people who are here this evening. Today, we are on the ground floor of something very special. Every course for every student is designed to create the skills important to businesses who are growing our economy: innovation, problem solving, entrepreneurship, collaboration, and communication. And we have a number of business partners here today, like Fori Automation, Altair, Lyft, the Ford Next Generation Learning Partnership, all of them helping us to set the direction, and many others. The business-driven model you will see today means our students have a learning and physical environment that directly mirrors businesses that are right here in our backyard. Yesterday, I was speaking to Mark Vanderpool, and we had lunch, and we were talking about up and down Van Dyke, the hope and optimism in our community because of the number of businesses that are along that Van Dyke corridor. Those are the jobs that our students are going to walk into and fill someday. Stevenson Made extends and builds on the portfolio of choices available to our students, with every subject area focused on fabrication, automation, and design engineering. It also demonstrates our commitment to our students and families. Our academic success is built on a foundation of excellence and innovation. The very mission of our school district speaks to the development of the talent businesses are seeking to guide their growth. The school district mission sets that expectation that every student will graduate from Utica Community Schools with some type of post-secondary experience, whether that is a trade, vocation, community college, or a four-year college and university. The research is very clear that in our changing economy, successful post-secondary experiences are the ticket to every quality of life indicator. In other words, education makes a profound difference in the lives of children and families and the next generation of children. Stevenson Made has been created with this mission in mind, to provide the pathways to their next stage in learning, the opportunity to earn college credit or an industry certificate while in high school, and the business partnerships that will open doors to successful post-secondary experiences. I don't know about you, but the people I know in leadership had someone who was a mentor, someone who helped guide them. Well, that happens through apprenticeships and through internships, and that's what this program is designed around. The program you will see this afternoon is Reinventing Learning. Through this program, Utica Community Schools is addressing the long-term need for continued educational attainment for our graduates and the structural changes those experiences will have on our regional economy. In other words, education and learning matters. I want to recognize the extraordinary teachers who have answered the call to do something different. The teachers here today have worked tirelessly to design the curriculum and the facility itself, pursued professional development opportunities across the country over the summer, and they are the ones who are making a difference each and every day in the classroom with all of their children. They do it because they believe in the promise of their students and the power of education to have an impact. Please join me in thanking the Stevenson faculty members. they are special, I can tell you. I would also like to recognize the 3 feeder junior high school principals who helped select the students for the academy and encourage them to take a leap of faith with us and to come to Stevenson as part of their 9th grade. Mrs. Sean Green Beebe from Heritage Junior High, Brian Shepard from Davis Junior High, and Antoinette Hamilton from Jeanette Junior High. I also want to thank our parents and our students for taking that leap of faith as well, because without you, we wouldn't be here today. And again, it is about the children that we serve. I also want to thank 2 people who actually provided the leadership at the school level. And I remember the very early conversations, and what we were dreaming was possible. And Dr. Johns, we could do this. And if I could go, I went to Nashville and I saw this. We gotta do this for our kids. Our kids deserve it. Mr. Faunus and Allison Hildebrand, thank you for your leadership. I also wanted to mention that Mr. Monroe, Stephanie Egan, Michael Sturm, John Graham and his team, and Kim Charland were district staff that also assisted in grant writing, helping to get budgets developed, make sure that the construction management firm and everybody helped deliver the product. So we want to say thank you to them too. It's no secret in Utica Community Schools that we have an outstanding team of educators. We also have an outstanding group of community leaders who strongly support education. I'd like to take this moment to introduce several leaders who are here this afternoon with us. I'm going to name them all and then ask you to give a round of applause, because I have a long list here and I want to keep the program moving. First, from our Board of Education, Mrs. Jean Clyda, our president, Mrs. Michelle Templeton, and you may get up and wave, people, so I know who you are. Mrs. Michelle Templeton, vice president, and proud Stevenson parent and a Titan herself. Dr. Mary Thomas, trustee. We also have joining us today Congressman Sandy Levin. And we have from Congressman Paul Mitchell's office, Anthony Forlini. And we have representing U.S. Senator Gary Peters, Kevin Hurt. And then we have from the state, we have Representative Peter Lucido. And we have Representative Henry Yanez. And then we have from Macomb County, our own county executive, Mark Hackle. From Sterling Heights, we have Michael Radke. We have Macomb Township Supervisor, Janet Dunn. And then we have representing Mr. Richard Stathakis from Shelby Township, the Director of Community Relations, Brad Bates. Brad, thank you for being here. And then we have from the City of Utica, Mayor Dion. So we want to thank all of them for their service to our students and our community. Thank you. It is appropriate that in this celebration for us here at Stevenson High School in Sterling Heights and in Macomb County, that for right outside these doors, there are all these industries and these businesses that our students pass by through daily. They are the businesses that are creating the future of high-paying jobs and high-tech jobs in our community. I would like to introduce a community leader who has helped guide the development of these industries in Washington, D.C., Congressman Sandy Levin. In the time that I've known Sandy has been passionate about the community he serves, and when Mrs. Clyde and I often have traveled to D.C. to actually advocate at the federal level on behalf of our children, Sandy has always opened his arms graciously to all the educators and the board members and superintendents, and always pressed deeply to try to understand what were the challenges we were facing here at home. And he is a supporter of public schools, and we appreciate everything he has done for us. He has served 35 years in Congress. And Sandy, we want to thank you and give you the opportunity to say a few words.
Oh, well, Doctor, thank you so much. This school district has always played a leadership role. I remember some years ago, you began to provide early education, and you were in such a leadership position. And now we're here to celebrate now a bit older than early education. So it's my privilege to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I just want to say a word. I think back, a few of you are old enough to remember. In the 9th grade, the men went to shop. And the women, I think it was home economics. And there was a complete dividing line, right?
Right.
It was complete. There was another dividing line, and that was college prep, and I think it was called general education. Both of these are now totally outdated, and it took a long time for people to realize how ancient they really were and outmoded. And so now the lines are crossing. I worked one summer at Dodge, Maine. I worked in a shop, and I then went to a modern factory many times, and I realized I could not possibly have worked there. Not possibly, because of the skills that were needed. And so what this school district once again is doing is leading within Macomb County, Mark, within this county, the effort to realize how much times have changed and how much education needs to change. And there's today a gap, sometimes perhaps not as large as people say, but there's a large gap. The need for skilled people who may not have a 4-year degree. Many of them have a 2-year degree, but there's such a skills gap that needs to be filled. So I just want to close not only thanking you for the privilege of representing at times the school district, but joining Mark and others. I didn't wear my hat today, but taking off my hat to this school district. And once again, providing the leadership that's so necessary. You are the wave of the future, and may other places catch this wave. Congratulations, congratulations.
Thank you, Congressman Levin. And I promise you that the young women that are here in Maid, we're going to see them in leadership roles in manufacturing.
Good.
I know we will, because we're crashing the glass ceiling here. When people think of Macomb County, they have lots of thoughts. Sometimes they equate innovation with Silicon Valley. But we believe the next wave of entrepreneurs and the leaders in the high-tech development will be here in Macomb County. And helping to lead this charge is our county executive, Mark Hackle. Mr. Hackle has served as our county executive for 8 years, and prior to that, he was our county sheriff. In his many roles, Mark is a real champion for Macomb County, its school children, and the Utica Community Schools. Please welcome our county executive, Mr. Mark Hackle.
Thank you, Dr. Johns. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to be here, specifically around the kids and talking about these things. And Sandy, you're exactly right. I feel old enough to be part of that crowd. I took wood shop and avoided home ec. I wished I would have thought that or rethought that for many reasons, but I did not. I can't thank you enough for what's going on with Utica Community Schools for a number of reasons. One is I have a nephew. I don't have children of my own, but my nephew I've had since he was born. He's 12 years old. He is in the Utica Community Schools along with his 2 sisters, and they're absolutely adorable kids. But seeing what's going on in Utica Community Schools, Really, I see their driving force to try to figure out how do we reconnect with these kids and give them an opportunity to see what's out there. And the other reason is because I was one of those kids, okay? Interesting enough, I graduated from Warren Consolidated Schools, thus the Macomb County tuxedo. So it's my style. But I was one of those kids that really wasn't sure. And as I look at the kids in the back of the room and I see the teachers here and trying to figure out how do we make that connection. And in the hallway, I had conversation with some of these teachers, and they talked about what your principal had spoke of, this why. And I think that was one of those questions that we all had as kids growing up. You know, why am I learning this? You know, what is this going to do for me? And I was one of those kids that really didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something. I was a very active kid, very aggressive. I had a brother a year older, wanted to be an attorney, wanted to be a judge, and he knew that entering into junior high. I had another brother who in high school knew he wanted to be a doctor. Well, Billy, the older one year older, is in fact a judge today. And Greg, a year younger, is in fact a doctor today. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed some kind of connectivity, and I didn't quite have it at the time in school. And so what I did is I took a job at a sheriff's department and as a dispatcher just to make money to go to Macomb Community College, not really knowing what I wanted to do or never really understanding what my passion might be. I did not want to be a police officer. It wasn't of interest until I touched it, I felt it, and then I fell in love with it and it became a passion. And so with it, I started learning more and became more in tune to my education and really got involved in what happened. And lo and behold, 20 years later, I became the sheriff of one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the state of Michigan. And for 10 years, I held a job that I absolutely adored because I had an ability to finally touch it and explore it and see it. Well, this program here, this MAID program, is giving kids an opportunity to explore opportunities that might be out there for them. And for the teachers that are helping them answer that question right now, why, that is so important. I kind of relate it back to law enforcement. I do with everything because it was 30 years of my life. But when I was a cop, one of the things they used to tell us when we pull somebody over is, if they ask you why, don't tell them until you get a driver's license or registration. And as a new rookie officer, I never understood that because I thought to myself, why don't we just tell them why we're stopping them or what the reason was we pulled them over? But as a young rookie, you dared not do that until you got those documents. And most people went along with the program. Most people would give you the information. But there were some that became somewhat controversial and a conflict. And so as I started to go off on my own, the first thing I did as a police officer when I didn't have a partner was explain to them why I was pulling them over. And I had zero conflict, zero controversy as a result of knowing why, once somebody had that information. And as I look around here and I hear what you're talking about, explaining that why, that is so important for you kids in the back of this room to get a better understanding and a better appreciation of what's happening. To those that are our manufacturing partners and the business partners out there, I can't thank you enough. We started here in Macomb County Manufacturing Day, which was just a one-day celebration of what we do here in Macomb County. And manufacturing today is not what it once was, or what some of us that are a little bit older think it was. These dirty, grungy, outdated facilities is so different, it's so modernized. They're very high-tech, and as Sandy had mentioned, I mean, I don't think I can go in there and actually probably obtain a job because of what's necessary. It's no longer blue-collar workers. I call it here in Macomb County the new-collar worker. That job is so highly technical, and yet they're darn good paying jobs and great opportunities for kids if they just get the opportunity to explore it. And what they're learning in the classroom, from classroom and curriculum to these career opportunities, is so valuable because you're going to have an opportunity to see what's out there. And so for those that are opening their doors for these kids and making it more than just a one-day celebration here in Macomb County, but a continuous opportunity to connect, it's not only advantageous for these kids, it's advantageous for you as an organization because now you get to see the cream of the crop. You get to see that you have opportunities to recruit some of those kids because here in Macomb County, when you think about jobs, we are below the national average of unemployment. We have the highest level, if you will, historic highs for people in the workforce. Yet there are still 17,000 jobs available here in Macomb County across all industry sectors. And so what does that mean for you kids in the back of this room? Well, a lot of those opportunities weren't there when I was a kid growing up. but because of what you see happening here, you got it made. Good luck to you.
Now, to commemorate the opening of Stevenson Made, I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael Nowicki. He's the Executive Vice President at the architectural firm of Integrated Design Solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Faunus. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon to present the Stevenson Made Academy to the Utica Community School District. This project has truly been a unique collaboration of educators, business leaders, teachers, as well as architects, engineers, and construction trades. I'd like to take just a minute to acknowledge my outstanding design team, some of them are here today, Mr. Matt Beck, Mark Reeves, Charlie Haas, Nick Cathari, and Cassie Dahmer. I'd also like to acknowledge our construction managers. The district's construction managers of the Bart Mallow Company, Mr. Mike Stoback and Mr. Brett Bollinger and their team were responsible for the construction of this outstanding facility. We have been very fortunate at IDS to have been the architects and engineers with Utica Community Schools for a number of years, and we've worked on a variety of different projects. And all the projects differ in scope and scale, but there is one constant with any project that you work on in the school district. You will be challenged to think outside the box. Design facilities that are student-centered, support innovation, provide teachers the spaces and tools that they need to meet the high standards expected within this school district. The facility that you will visit this afternoon reflects what students will experience over the next 4 years here at Stevenson Made. They will be in an environment where they will be completely comfortable and a step ahead of their competition. It is now my pleasure to officially present this facility to the Utica Community School District. I would ask that Dr. Johns, Mrs. Jean Clyda, Mrs. Michelle Templeton, Dr. Mary Thomas, Justin James, Stevenson Made students Justin James and Greta Kaminsky, please come forward to accept this outstanding facility on behalf of the community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nowicki, and good afternoon, everyone. I am humbled and proud to accept this building on behalf of our families, our students, our teachers, and the entire staff at Stevenson High School, our district leadership, and my colleagues on the Board of Education. We live here in a district with an established tradition of every member of the community focused on education and the support of our children. As board members, we respect the history of this district, its legacy of excellence. We respect the relationships, the people, and the very fabric of the student-centered approach that holds all of us together. All of us can acknowledge that we live in a time of great change. That is not new to any of us today. But like every organization, we have addressed these changes. Our classrooms are different, our community is different, and what the business community needs from our graduates is different. However, one thing in Utica Community Schools that will not ever change: the relationships that create student success. This is a defining characteristic of our past, of our present, and of our future. Utica Community Schools stands on the shoulder of giants, or as it may be appropriate here at Stevenson, the mighty, mighty Titans. This afternoon, we have gathered here today for those individuals whose relationships and vision have made this entire day possible. For instance, joining us today, a very dear friend, Mr. Ray Lope. Mr. Lope is a founding member of the Utica Community Schools Foundation for Educational Excellence, with leaders such as Mr. Bill Browning and Mr. Duncan, who are not with us today, but would know they are here in spirit. Mr. Lope created a vision for our foundation as an avenue for businesses to have a direct relationship with district and staff. He, with other members of the foundation, continue this work today. Building on Mr. Lope's legacy is a new generation of business leaders who have made today possible. Altair Engineering, Fori Automotive, Next Generation Learning, MFC Netforms, Lyft, and members of the Chamber of Commerce, all of who have facilitated the relationships or provided the guidance that made today possible for everyone. I would like to truly acknowledge our superintendent, Dr. Christine Johns, and her administrative team. Dr. Johns and her team have had the ability to bring together a diverse group of individuals into a single vision for our students. They never waver from their vision, they never give up, and they work harder than anybody I've ever known. So thank you, Dr. Johns and your team. It is with gratitude. Some of you probably first met Dr. Johns as part of a career day or a scholarship program. And thanks to that very connection, you are now here today working directly with teachers and students to shape the very future of education and education of tomorrow. I would like to recognize the staff here at Stevenson High School, in particular Mr. Faunus, our Associate Principal Allison Hildebrand, the Maid Academy coach Mark Lacombe, and the amazing teachers of Stevenson Maid. I must tell you, Mr. Faunus has been extraordinarily passionate. From the very moment he thought of this, he will hunt you down and tell you about Stevenson. And if he gets another chance, he'll tell you about Maid. So Mr. Faunus, thank you for being that passion in this building each and every day for your kids. And truly, Mr. Faunus is a rare individual. Finally, I'd like to recognize the students and the families of Stevenson Maid. You have chosen to begin this journey as the first group. You will not be the last, but you will break all barriers to make sure it happens for those behind you, and that is part of Utica Schools leadership. You are leaders whose experiences will impact the countless generations to follow you. Thank you, and congratulations for making that leap. With that, I would ask Mr. Faunus to come forward so we can visit this beautiful facility and our guests can see firsthand this program in action.
As our speakers have mentioned, Stevenson Maid redefines education for the future of our students. We appreciate your attendance today to recognize the new beginning in Utica Community Schools and Stevenson High School, but we're not done. The students that you've seen in the red shirts, they've worked very hard to prepare for this evening, but to prepare for their future as well. They had to learn some of the technology that they're actually going to use in the future so that they could demonstrate to you what they're going to learn in the future. So they've spent time during their lunch hours and after school to learn that. And so I would really appreciate it if you take the time to visit the classrooms. There's 4 of them, and if you look at the back of the program, you'll see the 4 areas: design engineering, automation, fabrication, and design thinking. Now in the design thinking classroom, you'll actually see what they're doing today, what they're learning today, but in the other classrooms, you'll see what they're going to learn in the future. So please take the time to go to each one of them. If I could have my 3 ambassadors stand. So we have, step forward so people can see ya. All right, so we have Giselle, Tyler, and Kaylee. They're all wearing red shirts. They will be out in the hallway. So when you exit through these doors, you can ask them if you want to see automation first. You can ask them where the automation room is, and they'll make sure you get where you need to go. And then as you return, please join us in the room to my left where we do have refreshments and the chance to talk about the amazing things that our students are doing now and what they will be doing in the future. So this concludes our formal program, and I thank you for being here.